Well, since Riot is pulling out some new masteries, of course a lot of people have been asking me, so Stonewall, how will this affect jungling? Well, it's kind of obvious, that a lot of people are going to make their own assumptions as to what works. I myself have got a chance to test them out before anyone else, well, of course, amongst other group of people, and I'm grateful for that privilege. And I don't even, you don't even have to ask me if it's going to improve jungling. If you could even read, it will tell you, it just shows you there. Jungling is going to get a huge buff with this. Of course, there's still, I'm just going to say, possible changes that are coming that will affect jungling more than just this mastery change. I'd like to start off by saying that jungling and the entire game as a whole is going to be improving because of this. As it stands now, the mastery pages we have are, well, they suck. They're pretty awful, and when it comes down to jungling, they don't really help out. Runes make the big difference. They're the big impact makers. Masteries, the difference between having masteries and no masteries did show there, but it was mostly in the experience mastery and a couple things. It wasn't that major. So this is indeed gonna help jungling a lot more. Though these changes, if they prove too strong, they probably will fix it, and there might be changes coming a little bit later that, gonna balance this out or change jungling a whole lot more. Like that jungle remake, whenever it comes out, soon. In any case, think of it this way: these masteries will not harm jungles, since jungling experience is being modified. Most of the popular jungles are going to be fine. They'll either jungle the same, slightly better, and some of them are incredibly strong now. Well, not as incredibly strong as they were when I first used them, or they may not be, when they're actually taken out, to the field in a pro game or whatever. In any case, abuse of Nocturne and Lee Sin while you can. They really got pretty cool in this one. Some have already asked me how so when I told them that, the new masteries are going to be badass. Well, it first comes to thinking about the masteries we have now and how much they suck. Let's start off by taking a look at the offensive tree. Right off the bat, Tier 1 sucks, for basically anybody. I mean, sure, the Smite Mastery's there, but not really a big game changer or anything. It's just, might as well take it kind of deal. Sure, exhaust too, but, that's not much. Now, let's look at the next tier. Cooldown reduction. Yay, 3%! That does absolutely nothing for jungling, in most cases. And let's see, attack speed, that doesn't help all the junglers. Some, rely on their abilities more than, they rely on auto attacks. But, it's not a bad waste of points. The next tier, now that one has magic penetration or reduction, 50%, whatever it is, useless, and so is ignite. Okay, you'll take the magic penetration if it works for your character when it comes to transitioning. And then comes armor penetration and the damage to minions, which the damage to minions is okay. Like, it's not as great as the other things you could get, but it's a point, it's a place to put a point or two. In most cases, with most champions, you put 2 points there. The armor penetration is good for transitioning and the jungle, so that one's probably the good one. But look how many points you have to waste to get there. You put 11 points to get the armor penetration, and to max it, because just 1 is kind of a waste. But that's pretty way, like, the other 8 points are kind of just wasted, aren't they? And let's see, the next tier helps jungling too. 3 attack damage. It may not look like much, but it has made a difference between, for some junglers, like Trundle really loves that stuff. And, it's not a waste for physical damage dealers. It's kind of, those 3 attack damage mastery points, even other more experienced junglers, well, to competitive junglers, have, started taking that stuff in their builds, like odd ones, Nocturne and stuff. In any case, let's look at the next tier. Critical damage. Gee, RNG again, and it's not even that good. So why bother with this crap? Oh yeah, to get to the next one, Havoc, which is the last tier, which doesn't boost your damage by much. It's kinda just wasted again. Oh boy. Now the defensive tree. Tier 1 like right off the bat, tier 1 is actually pretty good. It gives you armor, then the rest don't do anything for you. But you gotta put in one more point somewhere else, might as well magic resistance, to get to the next tier. On the tier 2, dodge is RNG, and I frankly don't like that stuff. Sure, it does. I use it on champions like Udyr and everything to get the nimbleness because they have inherent dodge and, you know, that stuff. In any case, strength of spirit doesn't do anything. So, you know, you're stuck getting one of them. However, magic resistance is pretty cool. And strength of spirit, might as well get that, so, you know, having not a complete dodge points that you can't even get nimbleness. It's kind of wasted. Then the next tier, there's a nimbleness, and unless you built a dodge previous, you can't get it. And a defense mastery, which gives you, you know, defense versus minion damage, which is actually underpowered, but actually can make, you know, a difference for some junglers. And the block physical thing, that's also underpowered. It's pretty crappy. Next tier, whatever the hell that is, health, and whatever that other thing is. Cleanse, yeah, because you're getting cleanse on the jungler. Then there comes, you know, the fortify thing. Fortify, yeah. And then that ability power thing with attack speed percent. Yeah, you're probably not even putting that many points in there, and you're kind of trying to avoid it. You might not even be able to avoid this. Now the 21 mastery and defense tier perk, whatever, actually does help, but you've already invested so much and gained so little. Compared to the overpowered mastery tree we have right now, it isn't technically overpowered, it's just overpowered compared to the others because the other two suck. I mean, just right off the bat, the first tier doesn't do anything for your jungling. Garbage. The next thing, it doesn't do anything for jungling either. The experience mandatory is just there. It's mandatory. Like, if junglers didn't need to take it, you know, if they weren't so desperate to get level 4 after clearing their jungle, you probably wouldn't even bother putting that many points. Now, the minimum points in utility for all junglers is 8. But usually, you know, you're stuck with, if you go 21-0 and 8, you're stuck with 1 point, so might as well put in utility mastery, which is in the next one. However, some junglers are, you know, can only put 1 point in there. And it's it's not that impressive with 1, and with 2 it's pretty good, but, you know, not worth the 2 points most of the time. But if you know you're putting more in the utility tree, you might as well go there. Mana regen, you have blue, and then after the second, you know, golem spawns, you don't need mana anymore. Greed sucks for, you know, for non-support, I guess, but, you know, there's nothing else better. Then the other thing, just don't bother with that crap. Then the next tier of masteries. Actually, I have them in my notes right here because I kind of just don't ever use the utility tree. The next tier, movement speed. Now that stuff is actually very helpful for you. Movement speed and the flash thing, both good, but, you know, most junglers only make it to 16, and that's what they end up grabbing. Then after that is the cooldown reduction, which is weak, and you ignore clairvoyance. Then the 21 mastery is not all that great either. It doesn't really make much of a difference. So you usually see people go 1, 13, 16, which is kind of, you know, the best mix of masteries. But in the end, you know, masteries don't really help you much. If you could jungle without them, but you're burdened by, you know, by having to take the 8 in utility. Most junglers can do without, actually. I mean, come on, the former popular build was 1, 8, 21, and utility doesn't really, you know, upgrade your clearing or anything for your jungle. It doesn't give you any damage or survivability. It just gives you for transitioning. So you kind of just don't need masteries. But now come the buffed up masteries. And oh boy, they are really good. Let's just start off by looking at the offensive tree. Every single tier has something that helps you. Like right off the bat, you get attack damage, or like flat attack damage, flat ability power, and damage to minions. Wow, tier 1 already gives you lots of options for a lot of champions. Tier 2 just keeps getting better. Every single tier is just better. It even has lifesteal. Like it just damage, relevant damage for every type of champion that, you know, needs to deal damage is there. Now, Fiddlesticks might even go 21-9 or 21-09. Like, the damage boost is there. It's huge. It's pretty good. Though I'm pretty sure, you know, Fiddlesticks will want the spell ban from utility or something. I don't know. Then let's move on. The defensive tree. that thing is also good. It even gives you damage to minions, you know, small damage, but you know, you wouldn't expect getting damage from, you know, its defensive tree. It gives you movement speed too, you know, for control junglers who stay above, you know, above 70% of health. Like defense tree is kind of like for control junglers, not offense for gankers. Like if you read area ability, just you either boost a lot of your damage every single tier, boost your defense in every single tier. So in the end, the new masteries are only a massive buff. Like every tier is a waste of goddamn points. Like I explained, you get what? In order to get the best masteries to help out your jungling in the offense tree, you need 11 points minimum spent on the offensive tree. Now you can just spend 3 and already get a good boost to your jungling on the, you know, physical damage one. The new masteries are gonna help a lot. And contrary to what I may have said yesterday, I will be remaking my jungle videos, but I will not be splitting them in 2. I cannot say why, but you know, I'm probably will only remake just a few for this brief time.